Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy you're here today. If you love a cozy, peaceful home as much as I do, you're in for a treat because today's video is filled with practical, heartwarming tips that can truly make cleaning feel easier, lighter, and even enjoyable. Have you ever walked through the door after a long day, only to be greeted by clutter everywhere? Dishes in the sink, clothes on the chair, papers on the table, and thought, "Didn't I just clean this yesterday?" I know that feeling too well. The truth is, most of us don't have endless time or energy to keep our homes spotless. Yet a messy space can quietly drain our peace and leave us feeling restless even at home. For years, I struggled with this cycle, cleaning, tidying, and then watching everything get messy again. But what finally helped me wasn't working harder. It was working smarter. I learned a few small habits and rules that completely changed how I care for my home. They save me hours of time, keep my space naturally organized, and most importantly, they help my mind stay calm and happy. Every method I'm sharing today is something I've personally tried, tested, and loved. They've turned my once cluttered space into a cozy, peaceful home I truly enjoy. So grab your tea, get comfortable, and let's dive in together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss more simple cleaning tips that make life at home beautifully easy. Now, let's begin with one of my favorite little secrets, the 1-minute rule. It's where everything starts. There's one tiny rule that completely changed the way I keep my home tidy, the 1-minute rule. It sounds simple if something takes less than a minute to do, just do it right away. No second guessing. No, I'll do it later. When I first heard about it, I thought, how much difference can 1 minute make? But after trying it for a week, I realized it makes all the difference. You see, most clutter doesn't appear overnight. It sneaks up on us. A cup left on the counter, a jacket tossed over a chair, a trash can just a little too full. Each one seems harmless, but together they form that overwhelming feeling of there's always something to clean. The 1-minute rule is my way of keeping those little messes from ever piling up. Now after I finish my morning coffee, I rinse the cup and place it on the rack. When I take off my jacket, I hang it back in the closet, instead of dropping it on the sofa. I fold my blanket right after I get out of bed, so when I walk back into the room later, it already feels peaceful. These are such small actions, yet they give an incredible sense of order and calm. What I love most about this rule is that it turns cleaning into part of my rhythm, not a chore waiting on a to-do list. It's almost effortless. My kitchen counters stay clear, my living room looks cared for, and I no longer spend my weekends catching up on endless cleaning. There's also something deeply satisfying about finishing a task. The moment it appears, it brings a quiet kind of control and calmness to everyday life. Of course, I still have my messy moments, we all do. But when things get busy, I remind myself that 1 minute can prevent 1 hour of frustration later. Doing the little things right away, tossing the trash, wiping a surface, putting a pen back, keeps my mind light and my home welcoming. If you often feel like your home gets out of control before you even notice, try this rule for a few days. Start small. Just pick one room or even one habit. You'll be amazed how quickly your surroundings and your mood shift. Sometimes peace doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing less, but doing it now. And if you ever find yourself too exhausted to even think about cleaning, don't worry, tomorrow's video will be perfect for you. I'll be sharing simple ways to tidy up even when you're low on energy. Don't miss it. It's full of helpful tips you'll definitely want to try. Once I learned how powerful a single minute could be, I started to wonder, what if I gave myself just a few more? That's how I discovered my favorite little habit, the 5-minute reset. Next, we're moving into a habit that's beautifully simple, yet incredibly powerful, the 5-minute reset. There's something beautifully simple about spending just 5 minutes a day to keep your home in order. It's not about deep cleaning or chasing perfection. It's about staying connected to your space and preventing small messes from turning into chaos. I like to call it my 5-minute reset. I used to think cleaning always required a big block of time, a full afternoon on the weekend, or a cleaning day that never felt long enough. But over time, I realized that what really keeps a home neat isn't how long you clean, it's how often you care. Just a few mindful minutes each day can completely change the way your home feels. Most nights, I give myself 5 quiet minutes before bed. I walk through my living room and fluff the sofa cushions, return cups or books to their spots, and quickly wipe the table. Sometimes I'll gather clothes for the next wash or tidy up the kitchen counters after dinner. It's never a full cleaning session, just little touches that bring back order. By the time I finish, the space feels calmer, and so do I. There's a surprising kind of peace in these short routines. You begin to realize that your home doesn't need grand gestures, it simply needs attention. And the truth is, 5 minutes is short enough that you'll never talk yourself out of it. It fits easily into even the busiest day after dinner, before bed, or right before you sit down with your favorite show. What I love most about this habit is waking up to a home that already feels cared for. Mornings are lighter when you don't start the day facing last night's mess. Instead of dishes in the sink or clothes on the chair, you're greeted by a space that quietly says, "You're ready for today." It's like giving a small gift to your future self, one that costs nothing but 5 minutes of your time. Of course, there are days when I'm too tired or the house still ends up a little messy, and that's okay. The point isn't perfection, it's progress. Every little effort adds up, and over time it becomes second nature. Cleaning no longer feels like a heavy task to dread, but rather a gentle rhythm that makes life flow more smoothly. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by cleaning, start here. Set a timer for 5 minutes tonight. Pick one small area, maybe your desk, your kitchen counter, or your sofa. You'll be amazed how much lighter your home and your mood can feel in such a short time. Because sometimes it's not about doing everything. It's about doing something and doing it with care. And if 5 minutes during the day can bring calm, imagine what 10 quiet minutes at night can do. Let's talk about my gentle evening ritual that truly transformed my mornings. Now let's slow down and talk about evenings, the 10-minute night routine. It's my way of ending the day with ease and beginning the next one with calm. Evenings used to be my most chaotic time. I'd come home tired, toss things on the chair, and promise myself I'd deal with it tomorrow. But of course, tomorrow would arrive, and it always started in a rush. Missing keys, wrinkled clothes, a messy kitchen. It all added up to stress before the day even began. Then I discovered something so simple yet life-changing, spending just 10 minutes each night preparing for the next day. It's not about being overly organized or strict. It's about giving yourself a softer start. My 10-minute ritual has become one of the kindest habits I've ever built for myself. It's amazing how such a short window of time can create so much peace and control. Here's what it looks like. After dinner, I take a few quiet minutes to rinse the dishes and wipe down the kitchen counter. There's something comforting about ending the day with a clean space, no clutter waiting to greet me in the morning. Then I lay out tomorrow's outfit and pack my bag, wallet, keys, water bottle, whatever I'll need. It takes barely a moment, but it saves me from that frantic, half-awake scramble in the morning. Sometimes I'll also glance through my planner or jot down a few reminders for tomorrow. Just seeing my schedule written out helps clear my mind. It's like closing all the open tabs in my head before going to sleep. And when I finally do lie down, I sleep deeper, because I know everything's ready and waiting. The next morning feels completely different. I move through my routine calmly, no rushing, no searching, no frustration. Breakfast is smooth, clothes are ready, and I actually have a few quiet moments to breathe before heading out. Those 10 minutes at night turn into hours of ease the next day. The truth is, a peaceful morning doesn't start in the morning. It starts the night before. When you prepare your space, you also prepare your mind. And little by little, that calm begins to spill into every part of your life. You start to feel more in control, more present, and less pulled in every direction. If your mornings often feel like a race against time, try this, set a timer for 10 minutes tonight. Pick a few simple things, clear the table, tidy the kitchen, plan your outfit, write tomorrow's top 3 tasks. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do what helps your future self breathe easier. You'll be surprised how quickly this small ritual becomes something you look forward to. A quiet moment to end the day with gratitude and begin the next one with grace. Of course, routines help, but there's one deeper secret to a peaceful home. It's not just about when you clean, but where things belong. That's where the idea of giving every item a home comes in. Up next, we'll explore one of the simplest yet most life-changing habits I've ever learned: giving every item a home. I used to think that clutter was just a part of daily life, something that came with living, working, and moving through the day. But over time, I realized that clutter isn't just physical, it's also mental. Every time I couldn't find my keys, remote, or favorite mug, I felt a tiny spark of frustration. Those small moments built up and they made home feel a little less like a sanctuary. Then one day, I made a simple change that completely shifted how I live. I decided that everything in my home would have its own place. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but it truly transformed my days. When every item has a home and is returned there after use, the whole house seems to breathe easier. I started small with just one area, the living room. I chose a specific spot for the TV remote, a hook for my keys by the door, and a tray for my cup of tea. Then I moved on to the kitchen, labeling jars, assigning drawers, and using small containers to keep things in order. Suddenly, instead of wasting minutes searching for something, I always knew exactly where it was. At first, it took a bit of mindfulness. After using something, I had to remind myself to put it back. But after a week or two, it became second nature, almost effortless. The more I practiced it, the more peaceful my home felt. Even when the day was busy or a little messy, everything could return to order in just a few minutes. What surprised me most was how much calmer my mind became. A tidy home isn't just about appearances, it's about energy. When things are in their place, you feel in control even on the most hectic days. You save time, yes, but you also save mental space. Instead of rushing around looking for lost items, you move through your day with quiet confidence and ease. Now, I often say this: organization isn't about perfection. It's about peace. Having a home where everything belongs doesn't mean it's spotless all the time. It means it's easy to reset when life gets messy. If you're feeling overwhelmed by clutter, start small. Pick one room or even one drawer. Decide where things should live. Label boxes, use baskets, or simply designate spots that make sense to you. Bit by bit, you'll notice how this habit changes not just your home, but your whole mindset. Because when everything has its place, you finally have space to rest, to breathe, and to live more calmly. Once everything had its place, I realized something even more meaningful: cleaning isn't just about tidying, it's about how we feel while doing it. Let's turn obligation into appreciation. Now let's shift our perspective a little. Today's focus is all about mindset turning obligation into appreciation. There was a time when cleaning felt like a never-ending cycle, dishes piling up, laundry baskets overflowing, and that quiet frustration of feeling like it's all just work. But over time, I realized something powerful. When I stopped seeing cleaning as an obligation and start seeing it as an act of gratitude, everything changes. Suddenly, wiping the counter or folding clothes isn't just a chore, it's a way of caring for the things that care for me. When I fold my clothes, I remind myself that these are the pieces that keep me warm, confident, and ready to face the day. That small thought transforms the task from tiring to almost tender. I take my time, smooth each fabric, and feel thankful that I have what I need. The same goes for washing dishes instead of rushing through it. I think of it as cleaning the tools that make my meals possible. Each plate and bowl has played a role in moments of nourishment and connection. Even tidying my workspace has a deeper meaning now. I see it as preparing the space for tomorrow's ideas, tomorrow's focus. It's like giving myself a small gift, a clean, inspiring place to start fresh. When cleaning becomes an act of mindfulness, I no longer feel resentment toward it. I feel peace. The truth is, our home reflects our inner state. When we treat our belongings with care, that energy comes back to us. The house feels calmer, lighter, almost like it's breathing easier. You can feel it too. The difference between a home maintained out of stress and one cared for with love is enormous. So next time you tidy up, try whispering a quiet thank you to the things around you. You'll notice your mood soften, your movements slow, and your mind settle. Cleaning no longer drains you, it restores you. And as I began appreciating what I already had, I noticed I didn't need so much. That's when I learned one of the most freeing truths of all: less really is more. Next, we'll talk about something that feels both freeing and a little emotional: owning less. It's not about deprivation, but about choosing space, clarity, and peace over clutter. I used to think that a cozy, beautiful home meant having more decor, more clothes, more of everything I might need someday. But one day, as I looked around my crowded shelves and overflowing drawers, I realized that all those things weren't bringing me peace. They were quietly draining it. That's when I started to embrace a new truth: less is more. The principle is simple: keep only what you truly need or use often. At first, it sounded impossible. I had emotional ties to so many things: the dress I wore once, but loved the books I meant to read, the pretty mugs that just sat there. But when I started asking myself one honest question, have I used this in the past 3 months, everything became clearer. Most of the time, the answer was no. So I began sorting through small areas one by one: my wardrobe, kitchen drawers, even my skincare shelf. I donated the items that still had value and recycled or sold what I no longer needed. Every time I let something go, it felt like I was making space not only in my home, but also in my mind. The result was incredible. My home felt instantly more open and calm. Cleaning became easier because there was simply less to move around. I stopped wasting time looking for things or trying to fit too much into small spaces. Most importantly, I began to feel lighter, as if each unnecessary item I released took a bit of invisible weight off my shoulders. Now, I've learned to value space over stuff. A nearly empty countertop brings me more joy than a shelf full of trinkets ever could. A simple closet filled only with what I love makes getting dressed a quiet pleasure. Owning less doesn't mean living without it, means living with intention. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed by clutter, try this. Let go of the just-in-case items and make room for calm. Because sometimes the most beautiful home isn't the one filled with things, it's the one that gives you space to breathe. With fewer things around, my home felt lighter. But to keep that peace, I had to go one step further, learning to separate spaces by purpose, because every activity deserves its own special corner. And finally, we've arrived at one of the most grounding principles I live by. Each activity deserves its own space. One thing I've learned after years of trying to keep my home calm and organized is this: a tidy home starts with clear boundaries. It's not just about putting things away, it's about giving every activity its own space to belong. When I started practicing this principle, my home stopped feeling like chaos and began to feel like harmony. For the longest time, I was guilty of mixing everything together. I'd eat on the sofa while watching TV, bring my laptop into bed just for a bit, and pile my clothes on the nearest chair after a long day. It felt convenient at first, but over time it made everything blur together. Meals didn't feel like breaks anymore, work felt endless, and rest never felt restful. Then I made one simple change. I decided that every activity deserves its own corner. Meals happen at the dining table, no exceptions. My bed became a sacred space for rest, not work or snacks. I created a small work nook with just my laptop and a cup of tea, so that when I sat there, my mind immediately switched into focus mode. Even something as simple as hanging my clothes back in the closet instead of draping them over a chair made a big difference. At first, it took discipline, but soon these boundaries started working like magic. My home began to organize itself naturally. When I was at my desk, I felt sharp and productive. When I was in bed, my body relaxed instantly. And when I sat at the dining table, I could truly enjoy my meals without distractions. Clear spaces create clear minds, by giving every activity its rightful place. You teach your home to flow, not fight with your daily rhythm. You no longer have to force tidiness. It happens effortlessly because your environment supports your habits. Now I see my home as a collection of peaceful zones, each with its own purpose and energy. And when every space honors what it's meant for, life at home feels both organized and deeply comforting. Those are the 7 simple habits I practice every day to keep my home tidy, spacious, and calm, where cleaning feels light and never overwhelming. Each small step adds up to a home that supports me rather than drains me. If you're hoping to spend less time cleaning, make chores feel easier and keep your mind clear so you can focus on living. Try the habits I shared today. They're gentle, practical, and I promise once you start, you'll feel the difference right away. A tidy home isn't about perfection. It's about peace and presence. And if you ever feel too tired to tidy up, don't worry, I've made a special video just for that. How to tidy up when you're out of energy. It's filled with easy, comforting ways to care for your home even on your most exhausted days. Trust me, it's one you don't want to miss. If you found today's video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe because you deserve a home that feels light, peaceful, and truly yours. And don't forget to share these tips with someone you care about. Everyone deserves a calmer, happier space to come home to.